Fate Grand Order has been taking over the world. It got so big that even the Washington Post ended up writing about its impact on Twitter conversations, labeling it the Japanese game that keeps beating Fortnite. With the game's recent anime adaptations, FGO is expanding to new audiences while giving its veterans a treat at the same time. Here are 5 things you need to know about Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order is a game about travelling through time to save humanity from an almost certain end in the near future. When you think about it like that, it becomes pretty obvious that writer Kinoko Nasu's biggest inspiration was Chrono Trigger. He initially wanted the game to have some sort of freeform element where you could travel between all 7 eras from the very start. But for obvious reasons, that would put a strain on development. So it ends up being more sequential, with each singularity happening one after another. Nasu is deeply inspired by old Square Enix RPGs, which is why the game has a turn-based combat system. Funnily enough, FGO's biggest rival, Granblue Fantasy, is made by the creators of those old Final Fantasy RPGs. Despite all the competition, they'd probably get along. It's no secret that people don't like to read books these days, and Nasu is well aware of this, commenting on the fact that a lot of people's daily reading these days consist of the amount of text within a tweet. But for this reason, he believes that having FGO be a narrative-focused mobile game with a lot of dialogue could encourage people to read more, since the amount of text on screen is similar to a tweet. In later quests, the game actually has less battles, and Nasu comments that if players have made it this far in FGO, they're probably fine with reading. They absolutely want to broaden the audience of FGO, and they've been surprised to see female and young fans get into the game despite it being a franchise that began as an adult visual novel in the early 2000s. When faced with trying to expand an audience, it's often the case that the content will be changed to appeal more broadly. But when it comes down to it, FGO fans like FGO because it's FGO. Nasu understands this and instead continues to make the sort of stories that he wants to tell, and thankfully, people want to read them. Fate Grand Order is unique in having its writers take the charge. If you think of the most prominent figures on most Japanese games, Yoko Taro, Hidetaka Miyazaki, Hideo Kojima, even Granblue's Tetsuya Fukuhara, they're all directors. But I've spent an entire video talking mainly about Kinoko Nasu, a scenario writer. This is all intentional. When the game started, the writers got together with the goal of taking back the importance of scenario writing, and these writers from across the games and light novel industries worked to create the concepts for characters, the main plot, and all the events too. Nasu remarks that since FGO launched, other companies have been valuing their writers too, turning them from the dog's body who just puts the director's ideas into text into creative forces of their own. When the writing team has decided on an idea for a character, Tetsuya Takeuchi, Nasu's right-hand man and lead character designer for FGO, will work with different illustrators to create the images you see in the game. There is no particular one style of FGO, however, and generally they'll let the designers add their own style, aka this is Chinese Sovereign Wu Zetian, designed by Disgaea artist Takehito Harada. At the start, Nasu was worried that the mix of styles would ruin the immersion, but eventually he felt that the game's setting across myth and history created some sort of explanation for the inconsistencies. Although, on a personal level, nothing explains Paul Bunyan. Thanks for watching OTAQUEST in Japan. Feel free to subscribe to find out more about the art and creation of Japanese pop culture.